Good morning. My name is Baba Anthony, and I am with Okanran Sote Temple here in Miami, Florida. Thank you for joining us for another Ifa Temple service. As always, let us begin with our morning prayers. Alolo me, cool, peaceful water, pure, tranquil water, the path the vulture takes from heaven to earth, the path the vulture takes from earth to heaven. It is demanding. This was the Ifa cast for Orumila when he's going to take Olomi Tutu, owner of Cool Water, as his wife. Ifa says it is taboo. Irigiela will never allow Olomi Tutu to die a cruel, cheap death. Olomi Tutu and death have entered into a covenant. Ashe. Cool path, cool home, cool eshu. Ashe. Ibashe akamara, Ibashe olodumare obaterere kaye, Ibashe orumila eleri ikun, Ibashe ma ori, Ibashe akota, Ibashe asheta, Ibashe my mother, Ibashe to my father, Ibashe to my Lord, Ibashe to my oyubona, Ibashe to my Baba Ifa, Ibashe to my wife, Ibashe to my children. Ibashe to all my brothers and sisters in Ifa and Orisha. Ashe. Ogunda warning. The ocean is filled to the brim. The lagoon is filled to capacity. Alasan is going to our son. Alasan is going to our son. The owl of the top of the rock. The elders thought over the matter and realized it was no longer favorable. They used their mustaches to cover their faces and spread their beards firmly across their chest. These Rifa's declarations to Ishe traditionalism and to the head of every old Kotanile Ife. What is one's Ishe? Olodumade's one's Ishe. It is Ishe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. One's Ori's one's Ishe. It is Ishe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. One's mother's one's Ishe. It is Ishe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. One's father's one's Ishe. It is Ishe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. Male genital organs one's Ishe. It is Ishe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. The female genital organs one's Ishe. It is Ishe with peace before appeasing any Orisha. Please let us appease Ishe. It is Ishe with peace before appeasing any Orisha. Ishe is the father of all the tutu. It is Ishe with peace before appeasing any Orisha. The Ishe of our mother's lineage. The Ishe of our father's lineage. May they have a say in all that we do. It is Ishe with peace before appeasing any Orisha. Ifa, we come to give you praise this morning. We come to give praise to all of our ancestors and supporters in Ifa and Orisha. If I come to ask for you to support us so that we always see long life, so that we will always see good health, so that we see wealth, so we see good spouse, good children, all Iran life always. Ashe. Oshe Gunda. Orumi says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the rats to be thankful. The rats asked why. Orumi responded that's because of gratuitous feeding and drinking, which the rats enjoy. The rats said there was no need to be thankful. Consequences of this ingratitude leads to the glorious death of rats. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the fish to be thankful. The fish asked why. Orumila responded, it's because of the gratuitous feeding and drinking which fish enjoy. The fish said there was no need to be thankful. The consequences of this ingratitude leads to the glorious death of fish. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the birds to be thankful. The birds asked why. Orumila responded, it's because of gratuitous feeding and drinking which birds enjoy. Birds said there was no need to be thankful. Consequences of this ingratitude leads to the glorious death of birds. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the beast to be thankful. The beast asked why. Orumila responded, because of gratuitous feeding and drinking which beasts enjoy. The beast said there was no need to be thankful. Consequences of this ingratitude leads to the glorious death of beasts. Orumila says, let us be thankful. I say we need to be thankful. They asked the human beings to be thankful, and the human beings asked why. Orumila responded, because of gratuitous feeding and drinking which human beings enjoy. It was only human beings that said there was a need to be thankful. Ifa, I have come to show my gratitude. If one has shown benevolence, then we must all show our gratitude. Ifa, thank you for all that you have done for us on a day-to-day basis to show us our path, to give us guidance in all things that we do. Ifa, I ask that you continue to support us to remove death, to remove sickness, to remove litigation, to remove loss, to remove contention, to remove all negative things in our life, to continue to support us so that we may experience long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, and all you reign in our life always. Ashe. Awa dupe, awa bure, awa dupe o, awa bure, adupe anao, wow boy, Adúpẹ́ àná wa bòrè torí bò ewu mọ̀lẹ̀. Àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bùrè. Àwa dúpẹ́ o àwa bùrè. Adúpẹ́ àná wa bòrè torí bò orí ẹ̀. Àwa dúpẹ́ àwa bùrè. Àwa dúpẹ́ o àwa bùrè. Adúpẹ́ àná wa bòrè torí bò lẹ́gùn lọ́sà. Àṣẹ o. Erosoni tutu. Pounded again without soup can be difficult to consume. This was the Ifa cast for a tutu, child of the Bani Degu, he whose attitude was not acceptable, he who was full of bad character, he whose bad attitude had prevented him from coming to Ifa's domain. Now we've come to solicit on behalf of your tutu. We've come to beg on behalf of your tutu. Father, please be patient and forgive this provocation. We've come to beg on behalf of your tutu. Oromilo responded that those who come to solicit on behalf of Itutu, that those who come to beg on behalf of Itutu. How many children does Ifa have that he would cast one out? Those who come to beg on behalf of Itutu. Ashe Ifa. We come to pray to you and asking for your support and asking for all good things to come into your life, to come into our lives, so that we may find the success that we're searching for. Baba, as we move this path and we move through the marketplace of this life, we're asking for your support to help support us that we may experience all good things and live the best life that we can. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh, Fumeji. Hey, Baodu. The king who molds human beings, the king who molds human destiny, the king who supports and assists human beings, the king who molds human character, the king who molds human beings is the name given to Orishana. The king who molds human destiny is the name given to Orumila. The king who supports and assists human beings is the name given to one's Ori. The king who molds human character is the name given to Olodumare. Orangu Meiji, I calling you by your formula, which is known as He Paodu. You are the ones who help in organizing one's life for one's life to be fruitful. You are the ones who help in organizing one's life for one's life to be rewarding. Please come and help me organize my life. It is impossible to see the depth of the river. Do not let people see evil in me. Do not let me be disgraced. It is impossible to see the depth of the sea. All what I do, Ifa, please come and support me so that I do not experience any of these challenges. Orangu Meiji, I call you by your formula, which is known as He Paodu. Please let my matters be fruitful and rewarding. Ashe. Ifa, I pray to you. I ask for the guidance of Orishanla. I ask for the guidance of Ifa. I ask for the guidance of my Ori. I ask for the guidance of Olodumare, so that I am supported by all of these deities. I ask that all of our members are supported by these deities, so that we see the importance of them in our lives, so that we continue to grow and again live the best life that we can. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo tí mo bá máa mọ̀ wí o, èrò mọ̀lẹ̀ ò bá, Ifá ò bá o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo tí mo bá máa mọ̀ wí o, èrò mọ̀lẹ̀ ò bá, Ifá ò bá o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Timo duro, Timo sure, Timo bere, Timo sure, Timo kunle, Timo sure, Timo joko, Timo sure, ire Timo suori tibo. Let us hold our oris. Orieni laure eni orieni laure eni moji lowuro mofo mori orieni laure eni orieni laure eni orieni laure eni moji lowuro mofo mori orieni laure eni. Gbogbo ire ìtàsù Ifá ọba Ọlọ́run àti Bàdájú Ifá ọgbà Ọlọ́run, ó ṣe àwòrẹ́là Ifá ti gbọ́. Ifá, as we complete our morning prayers, we are asking for all good things to come into our lives. We're asking that we hear this message of individuality that is coming. We hear this message of us following our path through the support of Ifá. We hear the message that all good things should be coming to us so that we find happiness and contentment in our life. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Okay, good morning and welcome to our Ifá Temple service again. My name is Baba Anthony and I am an Awo with Okanran Sode Temple here in Miami, Florida. So the topic of our sermon is following my path. What's important for all of us to realize is that we all have individual destinies. We all have different paths that we chose in this life. Different things. No one person's path is the same. If you don't know the structure of Ifá, or the structure of Odu Ifá, I should say, Odu Ifá is 256 different chapters, and each of those chapters has over 1,000 stories. And so each of those different things of each chapter, each different story, will apply to us in different ways. And so it's really important for all of us to know that even though we may have the same Odu as the person next to us, we still have a different destiny to live. We still have a different path to follow, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So some things I would like for us to think about. One, how is one's path identified? And two, when your path is identified, will you choose to follow it or not? Right. I know it's only two questions and there will be more to think about later, but that's where I wanted to start with our focus. So let's go to the Odu of Ogbe Ate. Ogbe Ate, that is Ogbe on the right and Irete on the left. Ashe. It is not advisable for one to wake up in the dawn of one's life without knowing the Odu that gave birth to one. This was the declaration of Ifá to Olupo Alelu, he who reclined and was weeping in lamentation for his inability to achieve all the array of life. He whose life was as hard and tough as pebbles. He was advised to offer a bow. He complied. Before long, not too far, all array came in abundance. Here comes Ifá, the embodiment of Ashe, the holy palm tree that ensures its predictions swiftly come to pass. Ashe. So, the Odu of Ogbeate. This is an Odu that lets us know that everyone has the ability to know their life Odu, right? Everyone has the ability to know their life's purpose and to receive guidance from Ifá. Right? The first line of the verse goes, "It is not advisable to wake up in the dawn of one's life without knowing the Odu that gave birth to one." Right? That's absolutely important. We need to know our life's purpose, and that's received when we do Itefa, which is Ifá initiation. Right? This gives us direction. This gives us goals in life. It may give us information about what career path we wanted to choose. It may give us information about taboos, things that we should avoid, right? The type of colors we should avoid, the type of people we should surround ourselves with, what type of situations we should avoid. There is a lot of information built into the identification of one's life Odu. Right? Ifá teaches us that we are all unique and that we will have the support of the deities in our lifetime in order to find success. So it's important for all of us to know our life Odu. For myself, I'll tell you it's important that Ifá helped me to understand how my career as a teacher and as an Ifa practitioner kind of go side by side. From when I was a child, I enjoyed teaching or talking to other people about different things, or like leading and um, giving people information, right? And for me, this now directly ties into this process that I'm going through as an Ifa practitioner, leading temple sermons, sharing Odu Ifa with you all so that you all understand the importance of Ifa in your own lives and how you can apply it to what you are doing, right? So I say that about Obayate. Think and always know that no one is excluded from the guidance of Ifa. We are all open to receive Ifa in our lives to find out the path that we chose for ourselves. Right? Now, here comes the next question. Once we know this information, or we receive this information from our Itefa, our Ifa initiation, what do we do with that information? What do we do? Let's go to the Odu of Ose Ade Tutu, also known as Ose on the right and Ogbe on the left. Ashe. It is the assignment of, it is the assignment given to my Ori that I am pursuing. It is the business that my Ori has sent me on that I am following. The assignment that my Ori has given me, I cannot but perform. These were Ifa's declarations for Ajayo, he who explores the ocean to have success and explores the deep sea to become prosperous. He was advised to offer a bow, he complied. The assignment that my Ori has sent me on. Okun, the sea, please let me fulfill it. Okun, the sea, please let me relay it to you. Okun, the sea, please let me fulfill it. Ashe. So, as I mentioned earlier, um, when we select, and this is our beliefs in Ifa, when we select our purpose in life, when we select our purpose in life, we go before Olodumare. We call this a prenatal choice. We go before Olodumare, our creator, and we say to Olodumare, I want to have a nice house. I want to have a spouse. I want to have this many children. I would like to do this in my life. Olodumare says, Ashe, he gives us the approval, and then we continue on to be born in this life. Once now our information is relayed to us, it is given to us, it's revealed during Itefa, then we have the ability to make the decision whether we want to follow the path or not. You see, what's interesting is that we all come to Ifa at different times in life. Some of us may be blessed that we found Ifa very young, and so our life is an open book. We can follow the path to fulfill our destiny right from the start. Some of us come to Ifa very late in life. We've already established that we have a career. We may have a spouse or we may not. We may have children or we may not. But one thing we have to understand, that even though we make our choices in life, like Ifa, when we get to Itefa, the point of unraveling or revealing our life Odu, that information is important for us where we are in that specific time. Right? That's important to know. It is information that is important for us where we are at that time in life. I would think to myself, if I got to the point where I am just about to retire from my career as a teacher, and I get to the point where I initiate into Ifa, and Ifa says, you should have been a doctor, I'm most likely not going to go back to school and become a doctor at that point in my life. It just won't happen, right? And so now Ifa starts me at the point in life where, I need to make decisions. How does my life Odu apply to me? What can I do to make sure that I live the rest of my life as content and fulfilled as it can be, right? I am on the path that my Ori has set for me. That's an important thing for us to note, right? A lot of things can be changing. If it says that I'm supposed to be a doctor and I don't get there in time to study and get ready for school and become a doctor, that part of life can change, right? But the part of our destiny that can't change, our parents who were born to, you know, the color of our skin, those different aspects of life that are fixed. Those things can't change. But if we're in a place where we're not happy, we want to make sure that our sadness is changed to joy. If we're in a place where we're not financially stable, we want to change that unstable life to one that is stable. Right? Ifa wants to support us by following the process, right, and giving us support. And so this Odu explains that as we identify the information that is important for us, we want to follow that path. We want to make sure that we get to where we're going. So we live a full and fulfilled life. And that comes at different times for all of us. Ashe. So let's talk about Orunmila. I'll share a story of Orunmila and how we know Orunmila is our prophet in Ifa. Orunmila, even though as a prophet, as a Babalao, as a priest of Ifa, as a practitioner of Ifa, went through struggles and challenges. And so I'm going to share a story from Ogbe Ate, that's Ogbe on the right, and Erete on the left, about Orunmila. Ashe. Aking Bade, our Awo in Iluwin town. Aking Bosin, our Awo in Ilesa town. The man as sturdy as a metal axe blade and as massive as a fetus of a buffalo. The brave leopard is the one who kills the hunter's dog, right in the presence of the hunter. These were Ifa's messages for Orunmila, who would make his mouth wide open and free gifts would be entering his home. He was advised to offer a bow. Ashe. So here's the story of Orunmila. Orunmila was at a point in his life where he was lonely. He didn't have anyone around him. He didn't have the money and the proceeds that he needed. At this point, he had no children. He had no students that he was teaching, right? And he couldn't see at that point, when this would all change. Orunmila, again, being one of the greatest prophets to ever live, one of the greatest Babalaos, priests to ever live, was in a place where he couldn't find 2 meals to eat in a day, right? When he became dirty, he was having a challenge getting his clothes washed or just to even buy soap. When it came time to cleaning his home, he was the one that was responsible for cleaning his home. He was in a place where he was tired of dealing with all of these challenges. So what does Orunmila do? He goes to receive Ifa consultation from the Babalaos. He had so many questions, right? You can imagine if you're in that particular place and you're an Ifa practitioner, you have so many questions. 1, when is it my time? When will I find success? 2, will I ever find happiness? Right? A lot of us practitioners go through that challenge. Will I find happiness? Right? For Orunmila, he was looking for happiness with a spouse. He was looking for happiness to have children in his life. He was looking for happiness in the form of success in business. He was looking for happiness and success of having students to train in Ifa. Right? These are all questions that he had for Ifa, and Orunmila asked during the consultation. So the Babalaos cast Ifa, and the Odu of Obeate was revealed for him. They explained to Orunmila that even though he was experiencing a tremendous amount of challenges at this point in his life, very soon that everything would change. Very soon, he was going to start to feel the happiness and the comforts that he was looking for. He was told that Ifa would bless him abundantly. But the character offerings that Ifa had given to him, they spoke to him in a very straightforward way. They said, Rumila, you need to continue to think good about life. You need to have hope. You need to continue to speak the truth. You need to continue to act as if your character can never be questioned. Orumila says, Ashe. He offers the ebo. And, the challenge for Orumila, even at this particular time, is that he had to even find the money to try to offer the ebo. He was, again, he was low on funds, but he did what he could to make sure that he was able to offer his ebo. Now, as you can expect, Orumila offered his ebo and he moved along. It wasn't till about 2 months later, there was a king, an Oba, who was visited by a stranger. And this was the Oba close to where Orumila was living. The Oba was visited by this stranger, and the stranger said, do you know the great priest Orumila? The Oba says, yes, I know who Orumila is. He says, he's one of the most brilliant and prolific priests here, and he's so close to you, but he's happens to be in a place where he is finding some challenges. Yoba says, okay. What kind of challenges? He says, well, what's interesting is that Orumila has been supporting all the people of the land, and everyone who comes to him, he fixes their lives and brings support. Baba, he's even brought support to you. Yoba says, yes, you're right. He says, Orumila is looking for things to get better in his life. Yoba says, well, does he want money? And the stranger says, no, he's actually not really interested in money. He says, well, what does Orumila want? He says, well, he's looking for, he's hoping to one day find a spouse for himself and hoping to eventually have children and grow his family. Doba says, yes. Says, well, that is interesting because I have a daughter who is now at the age of wanting to be married, and she is also looking for a spouse. Let's see if my daughter and Orumila will be good for each other. So the Oba sends his daughter to meet Orumila. Well, they hit it off. And very soon, down the road, they become married. As a gift to Orumila, the Oba blesses Orumila with wealth, with all the things that he is looking for, the financial side. This was wonderful. Orumila and his wife now were very happy. They were financially stable. His wife provided the companionship that Orumila was looking for. As people around Orumila saw that he had a beautiful wife, that he was much happier now, very soon she became pregnant. They were to have their own children. Orumila's life got better. And at the same time, the blessing for the Oba for supporting Orumila brought success in his life. Can anyone guess who that stranger was that came to visit the Oba? Now, if you said Eshu Odara, you're absolutely correct. All right? You see, Orumila had offered his ebo and did everything that he needed to do. And Eshu came in support of Orumila to help change and uplift his life. Right? Orumila started to find success. That is the importance of, one, Eshu Odara in our life, and why it's important for us to offer ebo. And it's also, shows importance of why we need to make sure that we always take care of our character. And so that's never in question. So here we have the story of Oromila, again, the greatest prophet of our time. He is the prophet of our faith. He is the one who knows the most amount of Ifa stanzas. But he was in a place where he was not finding success. Right? Those challenges were a part of his destiny. I want us all to understand that for a moment. Those challenges were a part of Orumila's destiny. And so even though he struggled and went through everything that he went through, he still searched for the guidance of Ifa. He still went to visit his Babalaos to make sure that he was offering his ebos as he needed to, that he was under continued support, right? And as he offered his ebo and was given the information about maintaining your character, always being honest, being kind, being patient, all of those things, the support of Eshu Odara came into play. When we follow our path that is laid out for us, we will see the support of the deities. That we need to understand. I remember watching a video of Chief Popola. He is the teacher of my Baba Ifa. And I remember watching this video. And it was a 2-minute video. And I will probably share it on the temple page. But this video, Chief said one thing. He says, when you have Ifa, you have the support of all 801 Irumule. Let's hear that again. When you have Ifa, you have the support of all 801 Irumule. That is so key for us to understand as practitioners. Even though we go through struggles and we go through challenges, we need to know that when we offer a bow, we follow the advice of Ifa, we take care of our character, the deities will support us. And we don't see them working in the background. We don't see them making things happen for us, right? We don't see the spiritual aspect that ends up materializing into the physical success in our life. We don't see any of that. But that's why Ifa asks us to always have hope. Know that as we do the things we're supposed to do, that we will find success and fulfill the destiny that we should fulfill. Now, we should know that if Orumila can go through these challenges, then so should we, right? Not everybody's life is going to be perfect, exactly the way they want it. Not every decision is going to go in our favor. I went through school. I'll talk about my position. I went through school, I went through work for many, many years. I feel like if I were to look at my life, I could almost say that I'm a late bloomer. I'm in my 40s and I have very young children, 7 and 4, in comparison to many of my colleagues or friends or family whose kids may be graduating college at this age. Right? So when I did Itefa, it took time. There was a lot of expectations for me to understand or for me to know or say or think that, like, why isn't my life changing? It took time. It took time. When I was getting ready to start work at this place that I'm working now, it took time. I remember thinking to myself, as I started part-time in my work, I said, you know what, if I were to ever teach at this age level, I think it would have to be here. And through the support of Ifa, here I am 16 years later, still employed and happily working. I met my wife. We got married. We had two beautiful children, right? Ifa has supported me in my life, and I think Ifa will support all of us. And when our success happens, that's later, right? For me, it's later in life. I didn't meet my soulmate at 21 or at 16 or at whatever age. Am I jealous of my friends who've done that? No, no, no. I'm happy for them. But all of us have our individual path, and that's something that we need to understand. Right? So we work to find our path. Any challenges that we deal with, those are our challenges to bear because it's part of the life that we live. Right? Ashe. So let's talk about now. While everybody may have their own personal challenges, some come into this world where it seems like they can do nothing wrong. Right? Think about it, they can do nothing wrong. This comes from the Odu of Oyeku Meji. Oyeku Meji. That's Oyeku on the right and Oyeku on the left. Ashe. Subuade saw okun beads and showed her happiness. She who dresses fashionably. She who dresses flamboyantly. The rain falls and made the ground wet and soft. These were Ifa's declarations to Eji Oye, who shall bring his unprecedented success from heaven to the world. He was advised to offer a bow. So here we have a story from the Odu of Oyeku Meiji. And the prenatal destiny of the person named Eji Oye was to come to this world and experience it, all of the good things of life. He's supposed to have a beautiful spouse, good children, good health, respect, honor, have a good home, live a long life, peace of mind, you name it, right? He had all the successes coming to him. It was so good for Eji Oye that people were like, how is it that everything you touch turns to gold? Right? When Eji Oye was born, from birth through all of life, he was the most successful of all of his friends. He was able to find everything he needed to find happiness because he brought his success from heaven. Right? So let's think about this particular story. Here we have the story of Eji Oye, and we can look at society. Let's even if we forget the story, let's look at society. Here I am. I don't want to say, my childhood was tough, but I could easily say that there were certainly challenges, and I was raised by a strong single woman. She had did what she could. She worked hard. She was born in Jamaica, came here, so I'm first generation American from my mother. But she went through a lot. She went through quite a bit in order to deal with her boys. Right? Yet I can look at the lives of my friends who will have had parents who were married for 50, 60 years, who've always lived life very well, had amazing grades. They went to college, got out, had an amazing job, had a wonderful spouse, which they met maybe in high school, so on and so forth, right? Everything they touched seemed like it was gold. And they found their happiness. Something we should understand why I chose this topic of following our path is that I have my path and they have theirs. Even if we come blessed from birth, that is that person's path. Even if we come with all of the challenges in life, that is our path, right? This reminds me of a story, and I apologize, I can't recall the Odu at this time, but it was a story of Orumila and Ogun. They were given shovels to dig a hole. They weren't told why they were to dig that hole, but they were told, you need to dig a hole. Ogun is a worker. He's a worker in our practice. He's the one that's up early, goes to bed late. He wants to prove that he's the best at doing his job. So Ogun gets the shovel and he says, I'm going to dig the best and deepest hole I can. Starts going. Orumila, on the other hand, he gets his shovel and he's like, well, they said dig a hole, but they didn't say how deep it needed to be or what it needed. So Orumila's like, okay, digs his hole, and then puts his shovel down. He walks over to Ogun's hole. He's like, oh, that's a hole. Well, the moral of the story is that the hole represented of challenges that they needed to go through in order to see the blessings in their life. We have Ogun, he's digging that hole to be as deep as it can be. So Ogun will always be working to find success, always be working to get to, he can never stop. Orumila's life, a bit more blessed, he had way less obstacles, way less challenges. It doesn't mean that he didn't experience those challenges. It doesn't mean that Ogun didn't experience success. It just means they had to work for it differently. Right? They each have their own path. My Odu's Otura Osa. If I am here as a person of Otura Osa, and my wife is there as a person of Otura Osa, we will still have our different challenges because we have to follow our path. Right? These are things that we need to understand. So let's review some of the things I mentioned, right? Odu Ifa, this is our corpus. Some may say it's a Bible, whatever, however you want to refer to it. It's our Bible, but it's not written. It's translated mostly by word of mouth. It's how we learn. We learn from teachers. We learn from our elders who support us. Now, there are 256 different chapters, and within each chapter, 1,084 stories. Right? And by those sheer numbers alone, you start to see and understand why people, even with the same life Odu, will have different paths because they can be living another story or path of the same sign or the same Odu. That makes their life different. Right? We need to know that even though someone is born in this life with generational wealth, they can have the same Odu as someone born in a life with a significant amount of generational trauma. But what it comes down to for all of us is that Ifa will still point each of these people to be in a place where they find success and they find happiness. That is the importance of Ifa, excuse me. That is why Ifa is here for us. That's why the deities are here for us. It's so that we live our most content and successful life now. Ashe. What I hope for us all is that we identify our paths. What I hope for us all is that we live a life fulfilled and one of happiness. I hope for us all that we find the companionship that we are looking for. I hope for us all we find the friends that we are looking for. I hope for us all that we live a life of good character that is never questioned. It's a challenging world. It absolutely is. and none of us can live it perfectly. So with that, I say Aboru Aboye. Thank you for joining me on today's temple service. We are now on what I call the summer hours. So you'll see a lot more activity through our Facebook page, a lot more activity through our Instagram page, and a lot more gatherings happening here in Miami. So I would love to have you come and meet us, come and be a part of our community as we work to grow our community here in Miami, to show the teachings of Ifa, right? That's what we want to do. We want people to live a life of success and of happiness. Find your path. Aboru Aboye. Have a blessed week. Please reach out if you would like to get to know us better. Be well.